Hi, thanks for tuning in. This is the ASX and Sectors weekly chart analysis for the week ending 6th of September 2024. First chart is the parent index. This is the S&P ASX 200 index, the XJO. You can see price pulled back this week. Put the lines in. That's the highs of the original range there. Price attempted to break out here, but sort of didn't get anywhere as it did so. Price came back, found support. You can see that with the closing well off the week's low. Price pushed higher in response, but you'll notice that these 2 weeks spreads narrowed considerably, and this week prices pulled back. But once again, it's found some reasonable support in the market with the close well off the weekly low. Volume was just above average. It was reduced, but just above average overall. So there was good support in the market. You may find the market will just continue sideways here to consolidate for a little period prior to any serious push higher. We'll just have to wait and see on that. This is the mid-cap sector, and similar to the parent index. Here was the highs of the original range. This was a more serious breakout, but you'll see spreads narrowed in this market too, as price sort of stalled for a little bit. This week prices pulled back. There has been some buying support emerge off the weekly lows. Volume was pretty strong in this market. And you'll note that price remains above the original breakout line here, despite pulling back. So that's a positive overall for sure. This is the small ordinaries sector, and this market has been lagging a little bit behind. Here was the lows of the range. They were being respected quite well originally. This week price broke below it, but then recovered, and price is back below this level again now, and below this level as well, which is a bit of a concern. This market will be held up to some extent by the larger two sectors, or the parent index and the mid-caps, but it's a bit of a concern this market has dropped so far below this original support line here. It's really threatening to break down here at this point. Hasn't done so yet. It's just threatening to do so. Anywhere within this bar's lows would be a supporting area, but it's looking vulnerable for sure. Certainly more vulnerable than the larger two markets we just looked at. This is the financial sector, and the financial sector have really been pushing along. They've been moving higher with quite some vigour recently, looking quite strong. You'll see price sort of stalled a little bit here, went through a little period of absorption. Now this week, you'll note the other markets have pulled back, and this market did pull back on Wednesday as well, but it's already recovered all of those losses and closed at a high for the week, and certainly considerably higher than the previous close. So this market is acting really strongly. Volume was reduced, but remained above the average, and spread did increase this week. So whatever selling pressure was in the market has been absorbed at this point in time, and the market's pushed higher in response. This is the ASX metals and mining subsector, and this market's threatening to break down. You can see the market's been moving lower. There was a reluctance to move lower here, but when the market had the opportunity to move higher, volumes reduced, spreads were not particularly wide. Both weeks closed well off the highs where supply was being drawn out, and this week prices moved lower, closed below this line and below this bar's low. So this market's threatening to break down. Another down bar in response would probably confirm a price breakdown. At this point, it's just threatening to break down. We'll see if there's any chance of a recovery. This is the ASX gold sector. You can see the market spent some time up here in consolidation mode There was a complex low down here before the market pushed higher again. This is the highs of the current range. Some supply was drawn out up here. Price pulled back in response, but always remained within the range of this bar, which was quite a positive. Price has since pushed higher again, and this week price has pulled back. It's effectively testing the breakout for strength. If strength is confirmed in this market, you'll probably find there's a rebound of some sort. And if selling pressure overwhelms any buying, you'll probably find price will come back and attempt to consolidate sort of adjacent to this level in here. But this market is testing the breakout for strength, and this market's generally been showing strength recently. So you would probably expect to see strength being found. This is the ASX energy sector, and this market has continued to break down. You can see here, price broke down here, attempted to recover, but enough supply was drawn out to reject a recovery at the breakdown line. Price then broke down a second time. The market just moved sideways in response, issued no really serious challenge to this breakdown line. Now price has broken down again. At this point, it really is still considered an attempt to break down, but the depth of the push lower and the close down by its lows suggests it probably will be confirmed. It's not technically as yet, it probably will be. It's highly unlikely you'll see a recovery that can actually break above this breakdown line. Much more likely, even if there was an attempt to recover, price would get to this level and then fail. Or instead, you'll just see price continue lower. But at this point, price is certainly threatening to break down, and it would seem as though it will be confirmed as a new price breakdown. This is the healthcare sector. This was the lows of the original range. After some consolidation, price pushed up and out of this level. There was a 2-week consolidation. Price pushed higher again and up to this level. Since then, the market's been trading in consolidation mode. It did look ready to go here, but there wasn't enough push in the market. I think the overall market was weak at this period of time, so it's just continued trading sideways in response, sort of in this narrow range here. Price pulled back again this week with the weakness that emerged on the broader market. Volume was slightly reduced, but still pretty high. The market did close off its low for the week, so some buying support did emerge, as it did in the broader markets. So I would expect this market isn't looking particularly weak, but it's a little vulnerable, as is the broader markets overall. This is the ASX industrial sector, and it's been a little bit of a difficult market to chart for a while in here. There was a certain reluctance to move lower here, and price eventually moved up, absorbed its way through this breakout line here, pulled back and tested it, and then accelerated higher. Now, the thing to look at here was the actual push higher, and the market has consolidated right up high in the range this week. If this market can complete its consolidation in response to this push higher, right up high in the range like that, it really will be showing you the underlying strength in this market, and it'll probably push higher again in response. Now, it may pull back a little bit more over the next day or so, but if the market can consolidate above the 50% level of this push higher, it will still be illustrating the underlying strength in this market. It would take a real deep pullback now for the market to actually suggest that it's not as strong as it appears. This market's looking really good at the moment. Back to the parent index just quickly before I wrap up. Here was the highs of the original range and the attempt to break out, and this market's pushed up and out above this secondary breakout line here. Price does remain above it, It tested it this week for strength and did find sufficient support to push back above it. The market's not looking particularly strong, but it's certainly not looking weak at this point in time. There's buying support in the market, and the market would like to push it higher if the opportunity continues to be presented. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But there has been support emerge again when this breakout line has been tested for strength. So that's a good positive for the market. Okay, thanks for your time. See ya.